After last night's 109-95 win over the Atlanta Hawks, Jason Kidd had some high praise for PJ Washington regarding his three-point shooting, as well as just the team overall. When they're hitting shots, it's just taking a big load off of Kyrie and Luka's back so they can focus on a lot of other things. So we're going to break that quote down, as well as a quote from Derrick Jones Jr. highlighting our team chemistry and how the team trusts each other, they're playing well with each other, the energy's high, and that's just something you love to see right before the playoffs. We also have an update on Luka Doncic's MVP race, and it's not as close as you think, as well as somewhat of an injury update on Josh Green and Derrick Lively, but we'll go all into that in a little bit. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get into today's video, 61.1% of you guys watching are not subscribed. The number is slowly going down day by day. But if you want to stay up to date on all the news, the post-game analysis, the live streams, and the giveaways that we do on this channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing we do. But yesterday's win over the Hawks, like I said, 109-95. It wasn't a pretty game, wasn't really our best game, but it was a win that we needed. Overall, we have about 6 games left from the season. If we go 4-2, we do finish with 50 wins at the very least. I like to think we can go 6-0 and try to get a few more wins. 52 wins, why not? Why not go for it, right? But at least win 4, we get 50 wins, means we improve from our record last season. 50 is a nice number. Luka might win MVP, which we'll talk about that later. But the game really wasn't that pretty. Luka didn't score in the first or fourth quarter. The second and third quarter was the bread and butter. Kyrie kind of handled things for the most part. But a lot of guys stepped up, and one guy that we're going to talk about is PJ Washington, who his shot has been kind of streaky. I feel like since we got him at the trade deadline, the corner three has not been nice to him. Some games he's hot, some games he's not. But last night he did very well, and Jason Kidd had some high praise for him. So we're going to break that down. In this quote, Jason Kidd talked about the importance of PJ Washington and Tim Hardaway Jr. hitting their threes. Kids say that there's no pressure there, but that it makes the game easier and more fun for everyone else when they're dialed in from distance. And I gotta agree with Jason Kidd on that. I've said it many times here on the channel, when the team shoots threes, not just Kyrie and Luka, but when Maxey hits a few threes, when Dante hits his threes, PJ, Tim Hardaway, when those guys are hitting their threes, it's just a lot easier for everybody. That's less work for Kyrie and Luka to do on their part. They can kind of hang back on offense, just pass the ball, knowing, hey, Dante, you can hit that big shot. Cool. PJ, trust you. You're good. Tim, you're hot. You're hot. If you're not, pass the ball, please. But it's good to know that when the shot falls, the guys definitely feel that impact. And if the game's more fun, then the guys are going to actually play hard. They're going to try more to win the game and not really hang your head on a loss or hang your head on a bad offensive play, on a miss. So it's good to know that even Jason Kidd realizes when the shot's falling, it's good for everybody. But he goes on to say this, as Jason Kidd about PJ Washington's impact as a shooter. It makes the game easy. Luka and Kai do the heavy lifting of creating the double teams or being able to find the open guy, just understanding that he's important to us. Like I said, you know, when everyone's shooting their three, when PJ's hitting his three, it's really easy for us. And come playoff time, it's going to be just huge for us. He's a starter on this team. His three has to come in handy. We all know what type of defender he is. He's a lockdown defender, one of arguably our best on-ball defender on the team, and that's great for us. And our defense has been carrying us for a lot of these games, even last night against the Hawks, which offensively wasn't really pretty. We didn't shoot the ball very well. The three looked good, but everywhere else from the floor was just horrible. Not horrible, but wasn't our best. But I've always said it. When PJ's shot falls, it just completes him as a player. The defense is always there, but let that shot fall. Let him be able to create his own shot. Let him get a little catch and shoot going on. PJ will be just a monster for us come playoff time, and just that reliable third scoring option when Kyrie and Luka are already getting going, or maybe like last night when Kyrie was kind of handling things because Luka wasn't able to really score in the first or fourth quarter. Who else is going to step up? Last night it was PJ, and hopefully in the playoffs we can rely on him some more. But PJ wasn't just good this game. It seems like PJ has been good over the last few games. Dallas Mavericks forward PJ Washington is shooting 44% from downtown over the last 6 games, and tonight he knocked down 5 threes and a win over the Atlanta Hawks. You can call him a streaky shooter. You can say that he's just hot now. He may lose it. I mean, I'm going to be rooting for my guys regardless. I mean, I made a video last night after the game where I was just ranting and raving about Maxey Kleber, who I thought played well. And I think it's good that we highlight some of these players as we're going into the playoffs. Because why wouldn't you want to root for your own team? I mean, obviously, Luka and Kai, they're the two driving forces on offense. They're going to get things going. They're going to get theirs. But in that off chance that they don't, PJ Washington, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green when he comes back, Maxey Kleber, just to name a few guys, that Derrick Jones Jr. as well. Those are the type of guys, as well as Dante Exum, who are going to be looked at for, hey, we need a shot. who's going to get it for us? Or he's going to pass the ball back to Luka and Kyrie and just stand in the corner and do nothing, which we see a little bit too often on offense. But it's good to know that PJ has somewhat found his shooting, or gotten out of his shooting slump and starting to find his shot more at the three-point line. And again, that's a threat that we're going to need come playoff time. He'll be our best 3-and-D guy that we're going to rely on. He's a starter. And I think that if he continues in this trajectory, he'll be able to get the job done and just be that guy for us. But he's not the only one who gets some praise tonight, or I'm sorry, last night. Asked Derrick Jones Jr. about the team's chemistry right now. He said, it's amazing. The chemistry that we have together, the bond that we're building together is great. We all out there having fun, and we enjoying each other's success. And that's another thing that you love to see. Derrick Jones Jr. is a player who we only have for this year. He's an unrestricted free agent. I think he's on like a $3 million contract, might even be less than that. And he's a player who I hope we can bring back, because he knows that the energy is good. He knows that the chemistry is well. The guys are just gelling great. And that type of team chemistry can just take a team far in the playoffs, much farther than just a team full of talented players. I mean, we see where the Suns are at, right? So it's good to know that the chemistry is great. Everyone's feeling it. Derrick Jones Jr. is feeling it. I mean, he had a monster dunk last night. He knocked down a three. He's playing great defense. And a guy on a cheap contract, just like Dante Exum, both of them are just, it feels like we're getting much more value than what we're paying for. And whatever Derrick Jones needs over the summer, I say we throw him the bag. A reliable, a decently sized bag. Reliable, I don't want to just break the bank for Derrick Jones Jr. I think he deserves a good contract. I don't really want to throw any numbers out there, but I hope that we can retain him, because if we fall flat this year, or if things just don't really go as we planned, I think we should run it back with the same squad. I don't think this team really needs too much tweaking. I know a lot of people are saying, Tim Hardaway Jr., Maxey, and Dwight. Those are the three that we need to look to trade and replace those guys for. And you might be right in that sentiment, but as far as his team cohesiveness and just chemistry and the way that these guys are playing right now, I would love to see what we look like at the start of next season and for, all the way up until the next year's playoffs. But we got to focus on the right now. I'd love to talk about the future, but right now we got 6 games left, playoffs around the corner, and we're going to get it done. And we're going to get it done thanks to Luka Doncic. He's been having just an MVP caliber season. He's been playing just out of this world, probably better than most MVPs in the past. But obviously, Nikola Jokic, he's on a team with more wins. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's also on a team with more wins. So obviously, they're getting a little bit more love from the MVP voters. And we have this right here. The ESPN NBA MVP straw poll final results. These aren't the actual final results. This is kind of, the preliminary voting, I guess, or however you want to word it. But these aren't the definite votes just yet. Things may change. But as you take a look at this, Nikola Jokic leads with 953 total votes. SGA with 626. Luka with 493. And he only got 1 first place vote. 31 second place votes. It's kind of disrespectful. I mean, I made a lot of videos on this channel already when Stephen A. Smith left Luka Doncic out of his top 5 and put Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards ahead of him. Whatever. I mean, it's at this point, I think we should just not worry about the MVP race. I mean, I'm still going to feel some type of way about it because I want to see my best player, my team's guy, win an MVP. I think that's just something that he deserves. I've said it many times where Luke, we all know Dirk, they were saying how he was soft, he couldn't lead a team. And I felt like in Dirk's career, he was slighted for a lot of awards. I feel like later in his career, he definitely got what he deserved. But for the most part, there was always just those naysayers talking in the media about Dirk. And I don't want that to be a repeat for Luka, even though it feels like it is. It feels like Luka's getting worse from the media than Dirk did. And if they don't want to give him the MVP, if it goes to Jokic, I'm cool with that. If it goes to SGA, we may have some problems. But it is what it is because our eyes are on the bigger prize. Y'all can win the MVP. This Dallas Mavericks team is trying to get a championship. We're trying to get it soon. The window is ours for, I'd say, about 3 to 4 year window where we can honestly contend, make the finals, maybe win the whole thing, and I'd love to see it. Bring home a second chip for Dallas. Get Kyrie his second championship. Get Luka his first finals MVP and championship. I'm hoping for the best for this team. But it would be nice if the media does acknowledge Luka Doncic and his contribution to this team and how he is a driving force, how his numbers aren't inflated, and that even without free throws, he leads the league in points per game. I think Kyrie's also top 5 in that category as well. I could go on and on about Luka Doncic in his case for MVP, but like I said, a championship would look a lot nicer for this team than just a regular season MVP. But we also do have somewhat of an injury update for Josh Green and Derrick Lively. I couldn't really find any timetable for Josh Green, which I'm not sure if that's concerning or if we should just not really worry about it. But here's an article, or a little snippet from an article from Grant Abseth saying Green has been working out in an effort to return to competition lately, but it remains to be seen regarding an exact timetable. That isn't to add confusion to the situation, but instead, Dallas tends to refrain from providing timetable updates until a player is very close to making a return. And so, yeah, that's why I said I'm not too sure this is like a good thing or a bad thing. They want to wait till he's actually close to coming back. Like, oh yeah, he'll be back in like 2 days. Cool, I'm all for it. I think Josh Green is going to help us in the playoffs. Maybe not be a big factor, but he does provide good hustle plays. He gets eaten alive on the screen sometimes, stuff that he needs to learn. But the more healthy Mavericks we have, the better. We don't want to go in the playoffs with a skeleton crew of Dwight Powell at the 5 or Maxey at the 5. I know that's not what you guys want. So a full healthy roster with Derrick Lively and Josh Green back in the rotation would just help us immensely. We saw against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I want to say it was like March 12th or the 14th. That's when Josh Green went out. He tripped over Derrick Lively's foot. He had to be helped off the floor into the locker room. He was in a walking boot, but I think he's out now practicing. So hopefully returning like a week, hopefully before the playoffs. I would love to see a little bit of Josh Green, a little Ozzy for this Dallas Mavericks come playoff time. But also Derrick Lively, who he had a weird injury against the Sacramento Kings last week. He was going for like a Euro step, and I guess he kind of floated in wrong, and there was a little bit of contact. He fell. He went back to the bench for the rest of that game, so we all thought maybe it's just a precaution. Like, I thought it was just a precautionary thing. He's your rookie. You don't want him hurt too badly before the playoffs. You want to take every precaution. And the reason why I haven't really reported on it, because I wanted to wait till there was like concrete news. I didn't want to tell you guys, oh yeah, we got an update on Derrick Lively. We don't know what's wrong with Derrick Lively. So I wanted to wait until we at least knew something. And the reports came out that he does have a knee sprain. And this is what Jason Kidd had to say last night before the game against the Hawks regarding that situation, or that injury. Jason Kidd on Derrick Lively II's injury says that he is on crutches and isn't sure if he'll be able to return before the regular season is over. That's got me a little bit concerned, not going to lie. I kind of dived deeper on Twitter and online trying to see exactly what it was, but it is a knee sprain. I think Jason Kidd kind of oversold on the injury. I don't think that they're thinking it's that serious, but he is in crutches, which who knows how long he could honestly be in those. We have about two and a half weeks left until the playoffs. We do have that week after the last game where they're doing the play-in tournament where hopefully we won't be there. So an extra week where Derrick Lively can recover would be great. I know Daniel Gafford definitely misses him because when those two are in tandem, one on and one off, the offense is great. The defense is even better. You know, our lob threats and our blocks just through the roof. Our defense is great. Our offense is great. Hopefully Derrick Lively comes back. I don't think it is the end of the world if it's worse than what we think. I mean, he is a rookie playing about 55 games this season, who has been better than advertised for this Dallas Mavericks team, someone who we've relied on since day one, it feels like, and he has done nothing but deliver for us. A few rookie mistakes here, a few things that obviously he has to work on. He isn't a complete player yet, which is a good thing. He has a high ceiling, but let's not get too upset or too worried that we may not have a good playoff run without our rookie. I think Daniel Gafford and a little bit of Maxey and hopefully less of Dwight Powell at the 5 will be enough. But if he does come back, even better. The Dallas Mavericks fully healthy is a threat. We are a hard team to beat. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far into the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and our Discord. Links are in the description below. We are doing another giveaway of a jersey for this month. Make sure that you become a channel member to enter in a chance to become a winner of the little spin the wheel names for a jersey. But until next time, you guys take care. We are going live tonight against the Golden State Warriors. We're looking for revenge. Hopefully we get out a dub in this. The Golden State Warriors are not a team you want to sleep on. So hopefully we get a dub. Make sure you guys stop by our live. I'll be there. You'll be there. Have a good time. But until then, take care. Peace.